we're
Thank
going to
you so
hop
much.
over to San Diego and Zane Curtis.
Yeah, it's a question, but also a statement. I listened to your book on audio, and I had my personal best when I was on a run because it just fired me up so much. So just thank you for this too. I was like,
I love
jogging
that. Oh
along,
my
just
God.
out there.
Please go on Amazon or something and like
Yeah, you
write
gotta
that.
write that
You got to
down.
write that down. That's
Absolutely.
amazing.
But it was just like I was out for a jog and I had to do audiobooks much, and all of a sudden I start running. I was like, this chick is badass. So just for the energy this morning. But question that I have for you is, your future book, Wonder Hell. What is one Wonder Hell that you neglected to listen to, and what did you learn from that?
Oh boy, that's such a good question. So I think, because I'm kind of a believer in like jumping out of the airplane, so I've listened to a lot of my Wonder Hells, but I probably should have gotten an MBA when I was, my husband was working for the Yale Endowment's office. We met in Washington, D.C., and then he moved to New Haven. He was supposed to go to Boston, as I mentioned earlier, and then he was like, about that. So I was in Boston, he was in New Haven. We went back and forth until I finally just started doing the work remotely from New Haven. And it was very hard to go back and forth to Boston every single week and try to like be present in an office that didn't understand that virtual work was a thing. Like it was very difficult to do that in the late 90s. And there really weren't a lot of jobs in New Haven, like if you weren't associated with the university, and I really wasn't. But it did occur to me that I probably should get an MBA at some point. And I think I kind of thought to myself that I was never really a math person. I was told by a 6th grade math teacher that like girls can't do math, you know, and so I just was afraid to do it. I was afraid to get that uncomfortable, and I was afraid to just, yeah. So I think I probably would have been much more successful in the entrepreneurial endeavors that I took up after had I had an MBA. But the truth is, had I had an MBA, I probably wouldn't have ended up in entrepreneurial endeavors. I probably would have ended up at Accenture.
Right. And sometimes, you know, if you had done some of that stuff, the world would not have Limitless. And there's
For sure.
so many other things. So it's so hard to look back and regret.
Yeah.